technology. All right. Hello, everyone. So good to see you. Yeah, this kind of pleasant holiday season. It was up to 70s, I think. And I'm June. I'm honored to be a center director here. And I just wanted to say welcome. Welcome newcomers. Welcome our friends. I love the community and I hope the newcomers can feel it and see it too. So just to reiterate, since there are some newcomers, now till 7 is Dharma talk portion. Usually the speaker speaks about 20 minutes and then it's a group conversation and it's really beautiful. And I think of this time as a beautiful opportunity of mindful reflection for ourselves as an individual and mindful connection with one another as a community. So let me go on about it a little bit because like the song said, let me tell you how I feel. We are all about authenticity and really tuning into what we're feeling and also sharing it if that feels comfortable to you. And the treasure is one another because we anchor each other's practice and we also learn from each other because sometimes people bring into your attention what you didn't realize that was already within you. So the treasure is your friends. All right. So, and I think in this friendship and kinship, if you're not ready for friendship label yet, is the sense of refuge. And I consider Dallas Meditation Center as a refuge. And in refuge, you feel safe and you can feel like you can be authentic. And I really hope that's the experience you take home today. And you can come chat with me for feedbacks too. I'll be around the door after the gathering is over. Back to schedule, Dharma Talk. So the title of this Dharma Talk, I designed it as being centered in this authenticity during holidays. And I hope this sounds appropriate. And let me share where my inspiration came from. Holidays are interesting times. I hope we can agree with that. And the mainstream message we hear at Target, CVS, is that of joy and friends and family. But in my private sphere, I hear about a lot of people being stressed out. So I wanted to kind of reflect on that. And I noticed that there's many different types of stressor. Some of my friends are sharing that the loss of routine is a big one. As you're traveling maybe, or having someone visit, our routine and sense of control over space and time is shifting. So that can be stressful, we can acknowledge that. And I hear about difficult family members and seeing them, or just general difficult family reunions. I also hear about pain of loss because holiday is the time when the loss becomes really palpable and visible. And loneliness, as not everyone has a tight-knit community in place, including family. So as the business hours get shorter, as social gathering gets sparser, loneliness can arise. And also if your heritage celebration is not aligned with mainstream celebration of Christmas, which has Christian undertone at least, that can also be a stressor. To give my own example, even though I'm wearing all this, I did not grow up celebrating Christmas at all. In Korea, when I was growing up, Christmas wasn't a thing. There were sometimes trees, but never the sense of this is when family get together, never a sense of ham or like I'm still not very in tune with that, as my partner is also kind of estranged from his family. So I'm just like, it's just fun. So I still wear them. And don't get me wrong, we love joy here. I think our motto is experience the joy of mindfulness, Dallas Meditation Center. The reason I'm bringing all of this stressor up is because the mindfulness, I believe, is first tuning into what is unfolding within ourselves and being able to express it authentically as that is all part of practice, and that helps us feel at home and centered. So in that spirit, I'm bringing up the stressors. Um, there's a study on flight attendants and service industry workers that shows that after long training where they have to be smiling and expressing the positive emotion at all time, they often misrate their emotions inaccurately when they do self-reported tests and when you do MRI scans and pulse checks. Sometimes they will report that they're feeling good when they're actually, their heart rate and MRI scan will say otherwise. So I would say that's an example of where we don't want to be. I'm hoping that at least in this space, we can be connected to ourselves and also feel safe to communicate that to one another. Yeah, I also want to share an anecdote from Bohyun Zen Temple, which is where I started meditating. It's a Korean Zen temple. And there was a Kosa, I forget his name. Kosa means he's not a monk, but he's an advanced practitioner who is working at the Zen center. He says, certain spiritual traditions celebrate the light and joy excessively to the point that they miss the shadow. In mindfulness, we recognize the shadow and the mushrooms growing within. There's richness in wholeness. So in the spirit, I'm hoping that we can all tune into our wholeness, including joy and including some of the stressors we may be experiencing, so we can feel centered. Yeah, so so today I'm hoping to have some conversation if you're comfortable with and with sharing practice. But if you're not comfortable with talking to strangers, feel free to know that you can just listen in, or even just use this time as a time to ask yourself, what are my inner answers to these questions? So here, I would love to, it's easier to talk to a small group, right? So I think we had about 12 people. So if we can kind of group Jake, Paul, and people in the chairs into a group of 4. And if you, 3 of you can group, that would be great. And Cornell and Lisa and remind me your name?
I'm Jessica.
Jessica, nice to meet you. That group of 3 would be great. And Alex, David, and remind me your name. Fayez. Yeah, group of 3. And I'll head over there, Teresa and Hudson. Yeah. So, and my first question, if you're called to discuss, is what is the stressor? What is the change and shift that you're kind of not comfortable with in relations to the holiday? So yeah, so just have a lighthearted conversation and see. I will ring the bell when it's time to regroup, and let's enter the conversation space after doing a deep breath and asking that question for yourself. Yeah, deep breath begins now. breath. If you're comfortable, could you include Nick to the conversation? I almost forgot about you. Sorry, Nick. If you are willing to share, perhaps you can type in as a chat or unmute yourself to be part of the conversation with the group with Jake. So if you would first introduce each other name and just yeah, and see if you're feeling comfortable to converse. If you're not comfortable to talk, you can say, I would like to stay silent. I'll just listen in or do whatever feels right for you. Right.